YouTube, what's going on? Jamar here, Vegas Sense. New video here. In this video, I'm gonna be going over my comparison between Aventus Cologne and Aventus Cologne by Scentual Obsessions. So if you're a subscriber or a frequent viewer of my channel, you know that I've been featuring Scentual Obsessions a lot on my channel, and that's for good reason. You know, they definitely have some really good high quality products, and you don't have to pay a lot of money to get access to them. So in this case, Scentual Obsessions version of Creed Aventus Cologne, it is on the higher end, you know, when you look at price compared to the rest of their fragrances. Normally, most of the 2-ounce bottles start at $30 a piece. Creed Aventus Cologne is $40. All right, so there's good reason for that. However, I would say this particular cologne is very, very close to Creed Aventus Cologne. It's not 100% cologne. You know, it doesn't smell exactly the same, but as I've explained with Scentual Obsessions, their fragrances tend to be pretty linear, and they tend to focus on a certain part of the particular fragrance that they're trying to mimic. So it's normally like either the dry down or the opening of a fragrance that they normally shoot for. And in this particular case, it's definitely the dry down, from what I can tell, that they're trying to shoot for with their version of Creed Aventus Cologne. So I have a little sample here of Aventus Cologne, and I believe this is probably about 5 mils. And I've got like a little, I think this is like a 2 or 2.5 mil sample of Aventus Cologne. And I mean, I don't know if the camera can see that or not, but I don't have much left, pretty much. All right, so I'm gonna be doing the Aventus Cologne, the Creed Aventus Cologne, on my left hand here. And I'll do the Scentual Obsessions on my right. Okay. So just smelling these in the opening, they do smell really close to each other. What I will say is the Creed version, or the original, smells a bit more zestier. I definitely get more of the ginger in the Aventus Cologne than I do in the Scentual Obsessions version, but you can still smell it. It just doesn't seem as zesty, as sharp as the Aventus Cologne does. It's almost kind of like the Aventus Cologne is a lot more sharper, and this is more smoothed out, more kind of, you know, subdued, laid back. And that could have something to do with the fact that, you know, Scentual Obsessions, they typically, and I think this is really with all of their fragrances, they use up to about 40% oil content. And a lot of times when you're comparing the Scentual Obsessions versions of a particular fragrance to like the original, that's the main thing that I notice, is they tend not to be as sharp as the original goes, especially if the top notes have like a lot of kind of sharp citrus type, you know, notes in it, you know, more whatnot. And yeah, I mean, I would say in the opening spray, the Scentual Obsessions is about 97 to 98% close. So I mean, it doesn't smell different than Aventus Cologne at all, I would say. Just the only difference is it's just not as sharp, but you're still getting the same smell, in my opinion. It's just a bit more smoothed out. So let's say, for instance, if the Creed version was like an eau de toilette, version of this scent, this would be like the eau de parfum version. So it would pretty much be the same smell. It just would smell more smoothed out, maybe a bit richer. You get the point. So just to go over the notes here in Creed Aventus Cologne, in the top notes you have ginger, mandarin, and rose. And then in the middle notes you have patchouli, Indian sandalwood, and vetiver. And then in the base you have styrax, birch, musk, and tonka bean. So I know a lot of people have been kind of saying that they get mint from this particular fragrance, or saying that it has mint in it. Even I said that in my video for Aventus Cologne. Going off of the note breakdown on the actual Creed website, there is no mint in this particular fragrance. There's no apple, obviously no pineapple, and no ambergris as well. So, and there's no vanilla in this one either, which, all of those are notes other than the mint that are in the regular Aventus. So now going to smell these two after having them sprayed on for a couple of minutes. Man, I mean, it's kind of hard to really say what the differences are, other than the fact that the Aventus Cologne, I would say, is definitely dying down in its sharpness. So it's not as sharp as it was when I first sprayed it on. And it's starting to become a lot more smoother, and I guess you could say more closer in smoothness to what the Scentual Obsessions is right now. And it's actually crazy because this is, I want to say, maybe the second or third day that I've had this. And when I first sprayed it on, I felt like, a couple of days ago, I felt like the Creed version of this, it was just a tad bit sweeter than what the Aventus Cologne was. But now, smelling these two side by side, I'm really getting like the same vibe from each of them. And I mean, I really don't really smell the difference. Other than the fact that I would say the Scentual Obsessions version just seems to be a bit stronger. And the Creed version definitely seems to have calmed down a lot from, when I first sprayed it on. But as far as smelling, I guess, differences in actual smell or notes or whatnot, I mean, it's very minimal. I mean, I guess I smell somewhat of a difference. But I can't really, I honestly can't give you a good explanation as to what the difference is. And I mean, when I say that, that's how close these are. Like, I'm really trying to find the difference between these two. And I mean, I guess what I could say is in the Aventus Cologne, in the Creed Aventus Cologne, I think I do sort of smell just a little bit more of like the mandarin. and the sandalwood as well, because this is definitely kind of creamy a little bit. And then the Scentual Obsessions, I would say I'm getting more of, just a tad bit more of like the patchouli and the vetiver. But I mean, honestly, it's very minimal. It really is. Like, I'm really having a hard time trying to decipher like which one is, you know, different from the other one. And again, I mean, the main thing that I get when I smell these is just the fact that this is just stronger. Even now, that this is just stronger. So, I mean, it could be possibly that these two probably smell exactly the same. And because this one is stronger, it's giving me the illusion that it smells different in some sort of way than what the Creed does. But at the end of the day, this is all that matters, okay? This one is $40 for a 2-ounce bottle, 60 milliliters. All right, this one is $435 plus tax for 100 milliliters. So, I mean, that should tell you all you should need to know. And again, when I wore this on Monday, I sprayed this on at about 9:30 in the morning. I worked from 10:30 to 7, and by the time I got home at 7:30, I could still smell this on me. Now, it was a very faint smell, so I mean it had definitely died down, quite a bit, but I could smell it throughout the day. I could smell it when I got home, and even when I took my arm and did like this, I could still smell it there on my arm. So to me, that still counts as, it was still there. So I mean, yeah, this is a really, really solid performing fragrance. It smells pretty much identical to the original Creed Aventus Cologne. And it's really impressive that Kevin was able to get this cologne out, not too long after Aventus Cologne was released. I mean, it was released, the 1st of June, I think it was. And here I think he released it, at the end of June, so not even really a month. So, I mean, that's really impressive. It really is. And for it to be as close as it is to Aventus Cologne, I mean, you got to give props to that. So I'm gonna leave a 5% discount link in the description, so you could, try to get a couple dollars off when buying this one. But again, I would say with the performance and the accuracy of smell that this one has, there's no reason for you to buy Creed Aventus Cologne unless you're just a collector and you like the look of the bottle in your collection. All right. So that's Jamar here, Vegas Scents. I'll see you on the next video.